Stop scrolling for a second. Have you ever wanted something so badly and then a few weeks later you wondered why you wanted it at all? A new phone, a new outfit, a fancy dinner, a place everyone seemed to be going. And then one day you realize maybe you never wanted that thing. Maybe you just wanted the feeling of having it. Honestly, that thought didn't just change the way I think about the money. It changed the way I think about my entire future. Hi, this is Kritika. I am 25 and this is my corner of the internet and a diary of dreams, freedom, meaningful living, and the questions I am trying to answer along the way. Some days it's about money, some days it's about life, but it's always honest. Today I want to talk about something I have been noticing lately, the difference between spending money for yourself and spending money for the show. And more importantly, why that difference is everything when you are trying to build a life 15 years from now. A few years ago, I wanted a new phone, not because mine was broken or it was slow. I just saw a newer one and I liked it. So I added to it my cart. Then I waited. A week passed, then a month, then another month. Every time I opened my cart and I asked myself, do I actually need this? And every time the answer was no. 2 years later, my old phone literally got crushed under a tire. That's when I finally bought a new one. And what surprised me wasn't the phone, it was the realization that hit me standing there. Every time I didn't spend on the phone for 2 years was a dime that went towards something that actually matters to me. Not not a device I would upgrade again in 12 months, but the life I am trying to build at 40. That phone taught me more about retirement planning than any financial advice I have ever read. So I live in a metro city and every day something is trying to sell me a better version of myself. A better phone, a better lifestyle, a better vacation, or a better image. And after a while you stop asking, do I want this? And start asking, why don't I have this yet? And that's a dangerous shift. Because now you are no longer making decisions, you are reacting. And a person who is always reacting is a person whose money is always leaving before it ever gets a chance to become freedom. So, I have a simple rule. If I want something expensive, I put it in my cart and wait. At least 48 hours, sometimes longer. And something interesting always happens. Either I completely forget about it, which means it was never really mine to begin with, or I still want it weeks later. And then I know the desire is actually mine. Not Instagrams, not advertisements, not someone else highlighted reel, just mine. And that one small rule has quietly moved me closer to my retirement more than any investment strategy I could name. Because the money I save by waiting is not just money saved, it is future mornings bought, future time purchased, future freedom building itself one unspent dime at a time. And that is where I started thinking about something bigger. How much of our lives is actually ours? Because sometimes we are not buying things, we are buying visibility, we are buying approval, we are buying feeling of being seen. The restaurants, the upgrade, the weekend plan. Sometimes we don't even enjoy them that much. We just like how they look from the outside. And I think we have all done that at some point. I know I have, but there is what I keep coming back to. Every time I spend for the show, I am not just spending money, I am spending time. The time I will need to keep working to replace what I just spent performing a life instead of building one. Every show cost me more than its tag price. It cost me months of the dream. The clearer my vision of 40 gets, the less the show pulls at me. I don't dream about clubs. I don't dream about expensive weekends. I dream about waking up at 40 with full energy, enough money, and complete freedom of time. I dream about being surrounded by nature and the people I love. I dream about the morning that nobody else scheduled. And every time I choose that vision over the temporary feeling of the show, I feel something I can only describe as one step closer. Not financially only, but personally. Like, I am becoming the person who actually deserve to arrive at this life. The biggest thing I have learned so far at 25 is this: freedom is not buying whatever you want, freedom is not feeling the need to. That is a completely different thing. Because when trends stop pulling you, when advertisements stop controlling you, when you stop needing strangers to approve your choices, something really quite happens. You stop funding other people's version of a good life and you start building your own, slowly, deliberately, and 15 years of those Tuesdays, that is retirement at 40. That is the whole math. So, before you leave, I want to ask you one question. If nobody could see your life, not Instagram, not your friends, not society, would you still spend your money the same way? Would you still want the same things? Or is some part of your spending secretly for an audience that will never actually give you back what you are paying for their attention? I have been sitting with that question for a while now. Maybe you should too. And if you are trying to build a life that is truly yours, I will see you in the next episode. Bye!